Welcome to this video review, and today I'm going to talk about Dentler bases. So these are the simple bases, even though Dentler has quite a lot of confusion with their naming, or better said, people have confusion with their naming because they say this is Dentler basis and then they have the basis vario. So almost identical name for a little bit different base which enables windage and elevation adjustments. But we will speak about this, I would say, standard model, which costs around 100 euros. They're all made out of steel. And as you probably know, Dentler is a really innovative company. I don't know exactly how old are they. They are from Germany, but I'm seeing them on fairs and so on ever since 2012 or something like that, so almost 10 years. I presume that the company is even older. And they even produce their own firearms, at least they did in the past, or they were known for modifying other firearms. And then they started to produce their mounts. So if you go to their webpage, you see that their mounts are basically an idea of two people. So Daniel Dentler and Thomas Haas. Thomas is even a doctor of, I think, mechanical engineering. And they decided to produce quick release mounts which are different than anything else on the market. And what is unique with their mounts is, if you looked at one of our roundtables where we talked about them, that you're able to have one single scope on multiple rifles. But only on one of these rifles you're able to have this simple Dentler basis, because this Dentler basis doesn't offer any adjustments. So if you only have one single rifle, this is quite a good way to go, because it's not expensive. The base, this base costs roughly the same as I would say average Picatinny rail, so around 109 euros. It does, however, offer 100% repeatability. So when you put they have this basis for, I would say, 100 different rifles. I think that the warranty on them is 10 years, even though I haven't seen any fail until now. I also have to be honest that I'm using them personally on quite a lot of my rifles. I would say almost on all of my hunting rifles I use Dentler mounts, and I'm quite convinced. I was skeptical at the beginning, but now after 6-7 years of use, I really like them, honestly speaking. They work well and they're really, really easy. So those models which come on a normal bolt action rifles with 4 or 6 or 2 screws for tightening the base, they always come with screws included, and you have to tighten these screws between 3 and 5 Newton meters. So I think everything above 3 Newton meters is already enough. But they also produce a lot of these rails for rifles that don't need any and don't have any screw holes for putting them on a rifle. And the good example of this is normally the Merkel KR1 base. I think that Merkel calls this base or this system of mounting something like, I think, Sul tilt up mounts. They can be found on all, not on all, but on the majority of drop barrel rifles made by Merkel, K3, K4, K5, and so on, and combination rifles like B3, B4. So basically you just tighten these 2 screws, and these clamps then hold the rifle. The same applies for Blaser. So as you're able to see, I have 2 Blaser mounts here, and this is really interesting because at the beginning they only had one single base for all Blaser rifles, but with Blaser R8 and R93, which are bolt action rifles, this base is a little bit too move too much towards forward, and sometimes it was hard to get the appropriate eye relief. So they produced a very similar base, which is moved backwards, and this base is made for Blaser R8 and R93. You can also find on some forums and so on people that don't distinguish these two bases, because if you put this on R8, this classical base, your scope will be moved forward, too much forward, and some people complain about it, but the reality is that you just need to choose the right base. And what is also special for me is that they produce the whole series of this Dentler bases for SACO 85 rifles. Normally these bases go also SACO 75 and all older SACOs, or older SACO rifles. They're equipped with a recoil stopper, and they have this clamping mechanism that goes around tapered dovetail found on SACO. And in my personal experience, this is the best quick release mount you are able to have on a SACO rifle, because majority of other quick release mounts on SACO rifles are just not reliable enough. With Dentler, when you put this on your SACO rifle, then it's 100% reliable, and you also get 100% repeatability every time when you put the scope up and down. So I would say for all SACO rifle owners who wish to have a quick release mount, this is the way to go. Dentler solved a problem which, honestly speaking, nobody else solved it quite well in the past. So, okay, I think I came to the end where I can go through the sweet and sour. What I think is really sweet with these mounts is the price. 109 euros, it's really not that much. Or even 150 euros for some more advanced models. I think it's really a fair price. The system itself, how it works, because when you have an upper part, let's say we have here an upper part for size ZM-VM rail scopes. That means all the scopes that have a size ZM-VM rail under the central tube. When you put this on, its operation is really easy. It's easy to understand, it's really easy to set it up correctly, and it's completely reliable and completely repeatable. This is something what not many other mounts are able to offer. And you don't set anything on the base. The base just needs to be connected to the rifle properly, and that's it. Everything else, how the tension of connection is between the base and the mount, everything is then regulated on the mount itself. So I think this is really, really positive. I also think it's positive that they use only steel in all the parts of this mount. So it's, again, it speaks about reliability and durability. What I think could have been done better, some of these mounts could have been done a little bit lower in their profile. Because all in all, Dentler tends to be a little bit higher than I would say fixed mounts. Still, it offers many advantages. But I think that they could engineer it even a little bit lower, but it's not a big deal. I would say the more bigger deal is that they are still quite young brand, like I said, only 10 years, so they need a lot of marketing yet, that people will understand all of their advantages and all of their unique solutions and how they solve problems. I also think that their naming should have been done a little bit more. I would say that there will be a bigger distinction between this normal non-adjustable bases and those Vario bases which are adjustable. If they would have a completely different name, people would understand it easier. I also would like to point once again, if you have a Blaser bolt action rifle, you have to choose the appropriate base for it, not the standard base that goes mostly on drop barrel rifles, and it's not suitable for bolt action rifles. So thank you for watching. If you need any additional information, please use the comments below. We will get back as soon as possible. And if you like our videos, please subscribe.